bless you.
Where am I going?
You see where the hole is, the camera? There, look, there you go, hello.
Oh my God, I really hate being on camera. What am I doing here?
That's a good start, that's a very good start. You can get straight in close if you're worried about showing parts and things.
Oh no, I'm not fussed about that.
Oh right, there we go. That's all right, this is going to be a good podcast. She's up for it.
TNA.
There we go, I pulled.
Oh my God.
Look at her cleavage out. Look. This is all staying on, by the way. This is
Oh my God, is it actually?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So just my name, yeah?
whatever you want to say, and then clap, and then we'll get this party started.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chelsea from Chelsea Buns.
Welcome to the Cherrywood podcast with me, Rachel Burridge.
And me, Simon Burridge. Chelsea.
Hello. You okay?
Chelsea from Chelsea Buns. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How
good.
are you?
Very good, thank you. How long before that falls off the wall?
5 minutes will probably hit me on the head. I think you need a new one.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I think
like it.
after the first year, cut it, get a new one.
Yeah, we're going to get one made, aren't we? Something special made. Is it going to fall off the wall still, though? Because this is the only good thing about this podcast, isn't it? Not just your podcast.
Yeah,
Right, not
just us in
Not
general.
just me being here.
So what did you say? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes from now, going to go to sponsors.
Today's sponsors are De Medici Associates, Chartered Structural and Civil Engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on demediciassociates.com. New Digital, helping businesses build their online presence with web design, SEO, Google Ads and social media. Get 10% off when you quote Cherrywood today. Visit their website at nudigitalera.co.uk.
And then we're back again. Right, tell us about yourself, Chelsea.
Where did you get the name from?
Well, funnily, my name is Chelsea, obviously. But when I was younger, my nickname was Bun, because of the Chelsea bun.
Right, good job your name's not Buffy, innit, or something like that.
Chelsea Buns.
Fluffy Buns.
Fluffy Buns.
Just don't sound like it. Sorry.
So when I decided to do the business, it was kind of a no-brainer, really. Yeah.
And what is the business? I know the clue's in the name.
I am a wedding cake maker.
So do you just do wedding cakes?
Predominantly, it's about 95% of my work.
What's the other 5? Birthdays?
Yeah, a few birthdays.
Bar mitzvahs?
I don't think I've ever done a bar mitzvah.
I don't think we've ever done a bar mitzvah, have we? I can't even say it, let alone record it.
No, birthdays mainly, a couple of christenings, bits like that. But I don't do loads of them because I'm so booked out with weddings. So.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
So, how
did you
long?
start
Yeah,
then?
go on. All right, then. You. So I'll go and then you come up with a different question.
Well, I didn't know what you were going to ask. I thought I'd just jump in there.
Go on then.
So how did you start then? Did you know that you wanted to do this from a young age, or?
My nan was a wedding cake maker, so I spent years watching her do like the old-fashioned royal icing, like all the really old school
delicate
stuff.
sort of.
Yeah, and she would make massive cakes, but she would do it all by hand. So she had massive flower pots that obviously hadn't been used for flowers, but we would get this massive wooden spoon and like the kids would take it in turns to like stir this thing.
Oh, she'd do it from a flower pot?
So she'd do it from a big flower pot to do her massive mixes.
Wicked.
Mainly like fruitcakes and things. So I grew up around it, always had like the best birthday
Got
cakes.
terracotta on the lung, have you?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it okay to do that? I mean,
Well, it used to be.
Yeah.
It's all you dig up these days, isn't it?
So I watched my nan do it. My mum dabbled in it for a bit. And then when I got married, I decided to make my own wedding cake in memory of my nan because she wasn't there, unfortunately. Loved it. I just loved the whole process. It was the first wedding cake I'd made.
Was that not stressful, making your own wedding
Massively
cake?
stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was literally learning as I was doing it the week before the wedding.
Oh my God.
So you never did any sort of college-y type thing like that?
No college.
So what were your plans originally for life?
So I did a degree in archaeology and ancient history.
God.
Wow.
And there we are talking about digging them up.
There we go.
God, that's
Yeah.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah, I love it. Really, really interesting. Love doing it at uni, but came out and was
Brush.
Yeah.
A bit depressing though, doing that.
Well, I had to do a dig as part of my uni course. So I did a week at Silchester. It's like over in the waterfalls.
Right, okay.
I think so. We had a dig that we were doing. I think we were in like this Iron Age when I was there, maybe.
God, you were there a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Can you tell? And I had to do a week living on site and working as an archaeologist.
And did you enjoy it? That's what's turned it for you, isn't it, Chelsea?
I enjoyed the lifestyle of the archaeologists because they love a drink and a pint.
Okay.
So that was amazing. The camping is not for me. I'm not
Rachel's
a camper.
the same.
I'm not a camper.
I'm not a camper at all. So yeah, that kind of went out the window. Decided I didn't want to do that. Ended up working at the Financial Ombudsman for a bit after uni. So I was a case handler there for a few years.
What's that sort of entail?
So, like all the PPI stuff.
Yeah.
So it was that. I started in PPI, but then I went off to do insurance claims. So if somebody claimed on their insurance and didn't get paid out, they could bring it to us and then we would investigate and work out whether it was fair.
Right,
and
okay.
things.
The archaeology is clearly more interesting. Than
Absolutely. I did love the job, but dragging all the way to London every day was it's just too much. I can't do it.
Rachel's parents still do it, don't they? Well, they've only recently just do a couple of days a week, but for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
You're
going to commute
so
to London.
Committed. My husband did it as well. He now works from home, apart from one day a month where he has to go to London, and even that's a drag for him. Like it really takes it out of him. Bless him.
We've met your husband at wedding fairs. Is
you
that
have,
your husband?
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
He does a lot of behind the scenes stuff for me. He's
does
my
all the
lackey.
cakes, really. You just get the boobs out and the cake and go, yeah. He does all the mixing in the pot.
Mixing in the flour pot. He does help quite a bit actually. He does mainly, he does my website because he's a web developer.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
he does that for me. Occasionally, if I'm really busy, he'll help with baking and stuff. He's really good. So.
Okay. Do you have a speciality?
Oh, weddings.
Yeah,
no, as in cake type. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking.
So my
flavour, I don't know.
My thing is flowers. So I specialise in sugar and wafer paper flowers.
Right, so you can make the petals and things.
So I make them all by hand.
That's really hard.
Yeah, it's tough. It's long, but I absolutely love it. It's my favourite thing to do.
And the weather must impact that as well, right? So if it's
hot.
really hot, you have to obviously do it quicker. Or
so the
that
flowers aren't too bad once they're made. As long as they're out of direct sunlight, they're fine, and they'll last pretty much forever.
Oh, right.
The worst thing for sugar flowers is actually moisture. So changes in if it's in a hot room and then suddenly the room goes freezing, they might wilt a bit, but they're pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
So I've got some sugar flowers that I made after I got married. I decided I wasn't going back to my job in London because I fell pregnant. So I decided to do cake. So at that point I then did some courses. And I've still actually got the sugar flowers that I made on those courses.
Wow.
So, that was 9 years ago now.
Wow.
10 years ago.
So how long's the company been going for? 8 years?
9 years, I think. 2015.
You went straight in. Courses straight into business.
Yeah. So we got married. I fell pregnant not long after. Went on maternity leave in the May, I think. And sat down on my first day of maternity leave and said, right, what am I going to do? And I started a business. Wow. I did all my courses while I was pregnant. Not really with any plans to do the business. I just wanted to
learn how
to do it properly.
Well, that's best though, isn't it? If you're doing something you sort of actually want to do.
So I did courses. So I'm technically qualified in different areas of sugar work. And then, I just sat down and said, right, I'm going to start a business. I'm not going back to the city. And that was that.
I might need her help, actually.
Why?
We've got a cake competition coming up, haven't we?
No, that's cheating.
Yeah.
That is cheating.
That's you just trying to get out of helping me.
So my cousin is 40 this year, and she
makes
cakes, and she makes all the birthday cakes, and some of them are, all of them I would say are amazing.
And every year your dad goes, or every birthday your dad goes, we should get you a cake shop in Rochester High Street. I don't know why it's got to be Rochester High Street.
Because I think it's quirky and little.
But
we just take the piss out of him now. Oh, this is Rochester High Street worthy, this one.
So for her birthday, we said, don't make your own cake. That's unfair. So every family member is making her a cake.
Oh,
and it's going to be a
cute.
bit
Have
like the
competition.
bake-off. So she's got to then
Nice.
judge it and stuff. But
Nice.
that is cheating. You can't get a baker in and help you. That is cheating.
We
You
could
know
do
my
it on the
rules.
sly,
Don't
right?
encourage it.
She's got pound signs coming
At
out.
the end, I'm going to get tips. Right,
Well, you
so-
could come and
If
have
petals turn up, you know I've been to see her.
You could come and have a class because
you
I
do
run
classes?
classes at the
Do
studio.
you?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I needed something to do during, obviously, you know, wedding season is
Yeah. So you do
the wedding
wintry
season.
type.
So during the winter when it's a bit quieter, I run classes through my cake school.
That'd be wicked.
So you
Just
can
for a
come down.
laugh, because we've gone to those mill ones before, haven't we?
Yeah, down in sort of Canterbury Ashford way.
Yeah, what's it's a wedding venue.
It's
Secret Garden.
Gardens.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
cookery
They
classes.
do cookery
yeah.
classes. All
Yeah,
right.
we've done a few
laugh
down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we can't. That's cheating.
No, but
No,
just do
you'll
it
be doing
anyway.
it. You'll be doing it. It's,
Just do it in
there's no
general.
rules.
Because I remember trying to do one for my daughters. I think it was about her 3rd birthday, and all the rage at that time was, you know, you have the Barbie doll, and then her skirt was
Yeah,
the cake.
done a few of those.
And I looked at it, and I made this cake, and I stacked it up, put the icing on, and I put the dough in. I was like, oh my god, it looked horrendous. Like the dough was leaning to one side,
Drunk
the
Barbie.
dress was just like that, and I went,
Honestly.
oh
It's
god,
like she'd
but she loved
been
it.
on a bender, the Barbie had.
It's like really
But that's the
hungover
thing, when you
vibe.
give it to the little ones, because you've done it,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
think, oh, it's extra special
Yeah.
because you made it.
Yeah.
So,
And I know my mum, because my dad and my sister are born on the same day.
oh wow,
So
okay.
every year she
Not
has
exactly the same
No.
day.
obviously.
Proper
find
hillbillies
you?
there. Proper hillbillies.
in the dumpster. But every year she has to alternate who she makes the cake for. So one year it's like my dad, one year it's like for my sister. And she's like, oh, they're crap. But they love them. They absolutely love them. Like she's made a ship once, isn't she? And then she made the periodic table because my sister's into science. So she made like little cakes and then made the periodic table.
The whole periodic table?
I think she had about 28 or 20 something cakes. So
Oh
the
my
family were
gosh.
coming around, so obviously she could do that.
gosh.
But yeah, she loves doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at baking. Mine's drunk Barbie that sort of get worse and worse.
Oh, that's all right. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
So can you remember your first cake you made on a wedding? I don't even think, saying that, I can't remember the first wedding I filmed, I don't think.
I can remember the first one I did. So it was actually before. So I told a lie. My wedding cake wasn't the first one I ever made. A colleague at work wanted one, and
Right. So you
I
know-
was dabbling. I was doing
Yeah.
birthday cakes and stuff, like taking them up to London for people. And she wanted a wedding cake, and I look at it now and I think, you poor woman,
Oh.
that you have that wedding cake. I mean, it was a good effort, and she was happy with it,
Mm.
and it was fine, and I loved it at the time. But now I look at it and think, what is
Yeah,
that?
but we all do that. I look
I
at
mean,
past videos
yeah.
and like, oh my God, I wouldn't have done it like that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's all
I look
about
at
the
stuff I've done
knowledge
last week and go,
Yeah. It's all a learning curve,
just-
isn't
no,
it?
the thing is,
Constantly.
I think to never be happy with what you do is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think once you start becoming relaxed, you've got to just knock it on the head and do something else.
Yeah, it's true. I do look at my work even now and go, I look at it and see things that I know other people can't see.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
But I can see them. So
So
it's
how do you keep up with like trends and designs and everything like that? Because there's so much out there,
yeah.
and TikTok and Pinterest and Instagram and
Is your husband
people
good at all
come-
that business?
No,
Phil?
my husband is rubbish at socials. Absolutely rubbish. For somebody in like IT, no, he doesn't really do the socials. Although I don't do TikTok, he's on TikTok more than me. I can't.
I'm not on TikTok.
I
don't
do
know
it, but I just tell this AI thing to send that to TikTok for me.
Oh, can you
Oh,
do
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh,
With
okay.
videos, you can.
Oh,
Like this.
maybe.
This, I can just send the whole episode to a thing and it will put really bad subtitles on it, like it's done and wrong.
Well, yeah.
Everyone thinks I've done it because I'm dyslexic. But yeah, terrible. Like Cherrywood, as in like a
Cherrywood.
hospital ward productions.
Why not?
And
Yeah.
yesterday,
And I just send. I don't care.
yesterday we did a drone. My son had a wobbly tooth, so we went, let's get the drone out, let's pull it out.
Pulled
So
it
I
out
was
of a
like,
drone.
Oh my God. And at the end, he went, ha, ha, and said
He
something.
went, can you see it?
Yeah, can you see it? And it came up, ha, ha, Daisy. And we were like, doesn't even sound like, can you see it?
Yeah.
Why not?
He left it
Why
in.
not?
Just left
Yeah.
it in.
I mean, it all adds to the charm, doesn't it?
The shitness.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't do much social media, or do you try and?
So I do. So I run my Instagram account.
Okay. And they all say Chelsea Buns.
So yeah, I've got Chelsea Buns, and then I've got Chelsea Buns Cake School as well.
Oh, I've got them both.
Yeah, we've got separate websites.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I try and run them. I'm not very good. I just don't have, to be honest, I don't have time. Running socials properly is like another full-time job.
It is. It takes up so much up because it's all about the content. And like for this, we have to post 2 times a day just for this, don't we? Yeah. Let alone weddings and videos.
And I just know my mate's getting paid off of seeing it. Do you know what I mean?
I
bet they look at it and go, what's this twat on your
Yeah, it is hard. I do try to keep up with it, but I don't even know the last time I posted, to be honest. Maybe last week. I got into a point where I'm going, right, this year I'm going to be really good on stories. I'm going to do a story every single day. No.
It's almost like you need someone to
I do need somebody. Yeah. So if anybody would like to come and do it, but if you want to do it for free or payment by cake.
Payment by
we
cake.
did payment by cake.
All right. We could sort that.
The last wedding we shot was the very first content creator turned up.
Oh, yeah, we had a content creator.
They're a new big new
Sunderland
thing,
she came from.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She travelled all the way down from Sunderland to do it.
Just to make
she was lovely. She was lovely. She never got in our way. We never got in our way.
So what? She just makes...
Phone.
Yep,
phone in her
it's
hand.
a phone, yeah.
All filmed by phone. All the trendy songs and the transitions and all this,
making all the reels.
Yeah, reels.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she knew what they wanted. Yeah. And she was lovely, really nice. It's just weird. Am I getting old? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that's.
People go to university to learn that sort of thing now as well. Yeah,
really?
You can get a degree in content creating.
I mean, fair enough. Fair play to them.
I might just get my daughter to do it. Just give her like 100 quid and say, come on to do this for me.
Yeah.
Don't do that, cake lady. We're charging 200.
Yeah, my daughter's getting pretty good, like with all of that.
How old's your daughter? Oh, 8.
She's coming up for 9 now. Yeah, she'll be 9 in July. And she's just bought herself a little ring light and stuff so she can sit in her bedroom and make videos.
Sweet. She dance and stuff.
She does dancing. She does unboxing stuff.
She unboxed it. We unboxed that just now.
Yeah, she loves a bit of like unboxing, or she'll sit and make crafts and show you how to do crafts and things. She watches a lot of crafts.
Oh, my sister is on the craft channel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was the last guest, wasn't she?
She's the Monday one.
Yeah, a couple of guests ago. Oh, yeah, we had her ages ago then, because this is coming out about August-ish.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we had a, I don't know what I'm trying to say now, but she's on the craft channel.
Oh, I love craft. I love anything creative. Anything creative. So I treated myself to a laser machine, a laser cutter earlier.
I thought your eyebrows looked nice and neat.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. No, these are tattooed.
Right, okay, laser cutter.
Yeah, because I wanted to make like cake toppers and
do your own.
bits and pieces. Right, so I do that as well. So we've just launched that as another business. My husband's making the website for that at the moment. It's ridiculous.
Is he bringing the cake in a minute? Or?
Well, I was going to bring you cake. No, I genuinely was. But I've got 5 weddings this week.
That's fine.
And I was
5. Oh, mate, how'd you cope?
So how do you make... Oh, sorry. Let me go back to my... Oh, God.
Do you know what? She's the first one. I think she's the first person to go in 70 odd episodes.
The life out of me.
Yeah.
Or was that the chicken? Was that her or the chicken?
No, it was...
What chicken?
We put a little...
Oh my God.
Not a real one.
Oh, my son's got one of those.
Yeah, annoying. Raph bought us that. Bought our kids it.
So then we took it away from
Raph
the kids.
And you put it behind me to scare the absolute life out
Raph
of me.
Apollo Funk is godparent to one of our kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he gets the most annoying presents.
Yeah, that's like my sister-in-law.
And they end up in the studio because we don't want the kids squeezing them all the time.
We had it was my nephew's birthday the other week, and my sister-in-law gave the kids squeaky chickens, whistles, and those little blower things with the tassels on. Yeah. Giving a squeaky chicken and a whistle to a 2-year-old.
They're arseholes, aren't they? Absolute arseholes.
This was in COVID, so obviously you weren't allowed to do anything. So it was doorstep drop Christmas presents. And Raph and Rach literally stood at the door, and they went to Ted, come here. They said, right, here's your present, stood away, and they went, open it now. And he did, and it was the chicken. He was like, I was like, oh my
Oh
God.
my
I literally
God.
wanted to throw it at them and say, take it back. But they ran
Yeah.
away.
What do you
It's
get us a
horrible.
sign for going to the toilet? You know,
Oh,
give it
yeah.
10 minutes. That's our present. They give it 10 minutes sign.
And then one year they bought us balloons, didn't they? Because they modelled
Rachel
balloons.
hates balloons.
Yeah,
And they were like, here we go. I was like, why? Why are you doing this to us? Anyway, sorry, going back to you.
Sorry, we drift off a lot.
that's all right.
Sorry.
It's fun.
So how do you keep up with all the trends? And like I said earlier about the Pinterest and people coming to you saying, can you do this? And you're thinking, there's no way. You know, this is like a
It's got to be
8-tier
maybe a
cake
different
and you want it
technique
in
that you have to
this-
experience.
Yeah,
every
that's
now
the
and then.
worst thing is people going, I want this cake. They send
Yeah.
or they want these beautiful, massive cakes, but they've only got like 6 people to feed.
yeah.
Or they only want to spend 20 quid.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I do a lot of research. So I'm always on like the forums and different cake groups and things to see what trends are coming up. I'm always investing in myself. So I've recently done a new flower course with one of like the most renowned like wafer paper artists.
Wow.
So I went up to London for 2 days to do a course with her to learn her new techniques to do things. So it's just about constantly making sure I'm
Up to date.
up to date
Yeah,
and new skills and things like that.
Describe
So
your kitchen. You got loads of ovens or?
I've got 2 industrial ovens.
Right, okay.
At home, you do all this from home?
No, I've got a studio
Oh,
in
right,
Maidstone.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I used to do it from home, from my little flat. And then I took on a small studio
Right.
just before COVID. Then COVID hit, so I had that studio for a year and didn't make a single cake in it,
That's depressing, isn't it?
which was really depressing.
Yeah.
And then because of COVID, the amount of weddings that I then had to move, my little studio would not have been big enough to then do those cakes. So I then had to go for a bigger studio.
Oh, wow.
And that's
So-
where we do the lessons, is it? There?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, I've got a downstairs is like entrance area and like my consultation area where I meet all my clients. And then upstairs I've got a huge kitchen / classroom. And I have got another room up there, but I currently rent that out to a photographer. She uses it
All right.
as a studio. So
Which one's that?
Laurie Young.
I recognise. I don't know why I asked because I hardly even know anyone.
She's lovely. She's lovely, lovely, lovely. But she's a wedding photographer, but she does a lot of like mum and baby shoots
Oh, right,
and
yeah.
stuff, and she does a lot of lifestyle things.
So does she take pictures of your cakes when they're done?
She does, yeah.
I suppose
Yes.
that's quite a good thing.
Well,
right?
she's just building like her studio side
Yeah.
and getting it right. So she's just launching the studio really.
Oh.
But yeah, it'd be nice to have a photographer on hand as
Yeah,
well.
I've done this. Can you?
Can you just take a quick
pop
peek?
over?
Brilliant. Oh, that's really good.
So how long does a typical wedding cake take you then? And how far in advance do you have to make it?
So a cake can take anything from 3 days to a couple of weeks, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't bake the cake that far in advance. So cakes for a Saturday wedding, say, cakes are usually baked on a Tuesday evening, and then each stage is done day by day. But some of my cakes, when they're very floral heavy, I'll make the sugar flowers in advance, and they could be made, a couple of weeks before, a month before. So yeah, it's long. It's not just cake.
What's the most variation of flavours you've had on each sort of tier?
So I have a menu of about 13 flavours.
Really?
Yeah, and
Blimey.
people can choose whatever they want for each tier.
Can you run them all off? Run all 13 off now?
Probably.
Go
Do
on.
you actually want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
I'll do the fingers.
all right,
You just do the concentrating.
Vanilla, chocolate,
Yeah.
chocolate orange,
Yeah.
white chocolate and raspberry, white chocolate and passion fruit, lemon, salted caramel,
Yeah.
Biscoff.
Yeah. Those two are recent, aren't they? Biscoff, when did that happen?
I've done that for about a year.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
people
sorry, I
want
put
it.
you off. Biscoff.
Did I say salted caramel?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Coconut and
Yeah,
lime,
you didn't say that one.
pistachio and cardamom,
Right.
red velvet, fruit cake.
One more.
Oh my
Bamberg.
God, what else do I do?
Bamberg.
Cherry Bakewell.
There we go. You might have more than 13
I
then.
think,
Where
there's
you-
I think there's one more because fruitcake doesn't come in my box. I think there's one more, but I can't remember what it is.
So
Do you know what she's done?
Oh,
She's
God.
saved our top tier.
Yep.
Yeah? It's a sponge cake. Now you know where I'm coming from.
Is it in the freezer?
Yes.
How long ago?
12 years ago.
I would not eat that.
Oh, we're not going to eat it.
I don't want to eat it.
Oh.
I just can't throw it away.
That's so funny. That is really
I'm
funny.
like, it's not even
about
fruitcake, Rach.
It's only like this big, so it's not taking up that much room in
Why
the freezer.
have you kept it?
Because I couldn't throw it away.
Oh.
They gave it to us because obviously they cut the bottom. I think we
I
didn't
don't know how
have
much I've
fruitcake.
spent on keeping that frozen for 12 years.
We didn't have fruitcake in ours. We had like a chocolate, a lemon, and a something else. But yeah, the top tier, I think it was just normal Victoria sponge. And they said, "Oh right, we've cut the other two up, but we haven't cut this up." I said, "Well, if no one's eating it, don't cut it up then." So they gave it to me, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I just put it in the freezer, wrapped it in foil,
That's
put
so
it in the
funny.
freezer.
That's so funny. I wonder what that looks like.
I
mean,
it'll
it
be
probably
all right.
look
It still
alright,
looks all right, but I
yeah.
I
wouldn't,
wouldn't eat
try
it. No. Well, it's got cream in it as
mean-
well, so I definitely wouldn't eat it.
What,
We-
fresh cream?
I don't know, whatever they put in it. Like a Victoria sponge, so.
Well, technically a Victoria sponge has fresh cream,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you'd have that
We
in
should
a
have
wedding
bought it.
cake.
We should have said, we made this.
Oh,
What do you reckon?
God.
We should have done it for you. Yes,
No, I've recently just been in hospital with food poisoning. Thank you.
Yeah, no disclaimers.
Yeah,
You won't, get
absolutely
food,
not, yeah.
you won't get food poisoning from it. It'd just be rank, wouldn't it?
You probably
I
get
don't
very.
know.
If it was fresh cream, and you probably
Yeah,
get
Oh,
very
the cream
sick.
side of things.
Yeah, I'm not
maybe.
sure. I'm not sure you'd have fresh cream in it. It'd probably
No.
be a buttercream.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, we're not going to eat it.
I mean, when are you going to get it out?
I don't know.
Well, I've had a vasectomy, so there's no christenings. Oh, God. For people just listening, when she said when you're going to get it out, she meant the cake.
Oh, yeah.
After I said
Sorry.
vasectomy afterwards.
Yeah. Whoops.
When are you going to get it out? I've had a vasectomy. It doesn't go too well, does it?
Yeah.
She meant the cake.
We are
sorry.
talking about cakes today,
Yeah.
wedding
Yeah.
cakes.
So, what is the weirdest flavour that you've been asked? Have you had to make up flavours or do you tend to stick to your 13/14?
I tend to
cake?
stick to what I've got. I mean, I used to have a menu of about 25 flavours and it just got too much because
Yeah.
people would just want to try everything and
Yeah, then
It's
you're
a-
making loads of samples.
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like back then it was anyway.
Mm.
So yeah, what's the weirdest flavour? I don't really know. I recently did a chocolate Guinness and Bailey's cake,
Oh, right.
which was really
Okay.
nice.
Guinness. I suppose because they have the.
So it's chocolate. It's a chocolate Guinness cake. So the Guinness just gives it like a malty flavour,
I hate Guinness.
and then it's just like it's a bit like malted milk. So
Mm.
like more
Yeah, I like all
Horlicksy
that.
type.
I love Horlicks. Hate Guinness. Gillis.
Mm.
Guinness.
Right. Okay.
So, what's the biggest cake that you've ever made then?
This is like a school, going to a primary school, getting, what's the biggest?
Yeah.
No, like how many tiers? Because I can imagine,
okay.
like,
I think
not like.
I think the biggest one's been 8 tiers.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! And you've had to transfer that to the venue. Do you
Yeah.
get scared transferring it? to
It's the
venue?
worst part of my job.
Yeah,
I
I
hate
can
it.
imagine.
Absolutely hate it. I
drive
drive
so
like
carefully.
such a loser. Like honestly, I'm
You
literally
need,
like
a
You should
princess
put
cut.
wedding
I'm like,
cake
come
on.
on.
We should get your wedding cake on board.
Yeah.
Well, my van says like my van's branded, so
yeah.
people should know what I'm carrying. But yeah, I'm just like out the window. Come on, just go round me.
Oh, what? Have you had any problems?
I've only ever had one issue. Have you ever been to Rye?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you've been to the George at Rye, the little hotel.
Yes,
like,
I think we have. Yeah.
So there's nowhere to park. This was like my first year of wedding, so it's probably like my third or fourth wedding cake I'd ever done. And it was stacked, which is how I used to transport them. There was nowhere to park, so they said you're just going to have to keep driving round until somebody comes out the loading bay.
Oh.
So I'm driving. If you know Rye, you go down the hill, back up the hill, big like square on a slant.
Mm.
And I was driving around so carefully, and then the last hill going up, I heard something go in the boot. My stomach sank, but there was a parking space.
Oh.
So I pulled up and looked in the boot, and the cake had just gone, like, it hadn't completely fallen, but it had tilted.
Mm.
Luckily, it was a like rustic wood slice looking cake. So when I got it to the venue, I always take like a repair kit with me.
Oh, that's good.
DIY.
So I managed to make it look like no one noticed, no one would have known.
But you knew.
But I knew
Yeah.
that it'd done
Yeah.
it. And I think from that point on, I vet the vet the venues and decide how I'm going to transport it.
So you stack them mainly now, do you?
So I stack them mainly on site now, depending on what the cake
We've had a
is.
few collapse. I've had a few collapse as I've gone to cut it. Yeah, and it was a huge cake. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to offend anyone, right? But this had like 6 in the middle, 3 either side.
Bridges.
Plastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yep.
Okay, old school.
Yeah, plastic bridges either side.
Did it have the fountain underneath?
It had the snow globes and things. Yeah.
Snow globes.
Yeah, Disney snow globes.
Oh, I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but if that's what they wanted and if they're happy.
But then it was on a field, so it was doing that anyway, and then they went to cut it, and it just went bang.
Oh,
straight
honestly,
down.
it just makes my heart hurt. It makes my stomach go.
I think it cost them $2,000, this cake.
Whoa.
But we've had ones where like kids have...
They found it funny. They weren't bothered.
They weren't bothered. No. Oh my God.
Mike's wedding last year, and they got to cutting the cake, and they went, "Who's done this?" And someone's obviously just gone like that.
Yeah, the guest has gone up and just fingered it, and
I don't know if it was a guest
I
or
think
a
it was
kid.
a kid. It was a kid because the kid got upset. I think. Yeah.
And then we were like, "Oh God!" You know, we were trying to like sort of go, "Don't worry, don't worry, put a flower on it."
We can like do it in post production.
So when you're icing your cake, do you use one of those squares sometimes to get it perfect and spin it so it's all perfect? Do you know what I'm on about?
Nah,
because I see that on the internet the other day.
What, like the machines that you can get?
You can spin them, I think.
The tools.
And then you can put the cream, apply the cream, and it's sort of scraping it off as it's going. I really liked it because I'm an engineer as well, and it reminded me of a lathe.
There are some like machines that do that. So
you just do it by hand, don't you?
I do it by hand. Yeah. Old school.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I bet it still looks good. Well, I know it does. I've seen your cakes.
So, what's the biggest challenge then that you've ever faced with cake making?
Coming on this podcast.
Thinking of an answer. I'm all for this type of thing.
Well, let's keep giving her questions. Let's keep hitting her with
really hard.
So actually, the hardest thing I find is nothing to do with the cakes. It's all the admin side of things and actually keeping on top of like the business brain side of me. I'm so creative, and that's what I love to do. The business side, admin, invoices, keeping on top of all that. That's what I find tricky, to be honest.
Thought about getting someone in, like one of those virtual assistants.
I have, but then I'm so particular about how I want things done.
Exactly the same.
So if they did something wrong or that didn't...
It's the transition and all, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot. It would be a lot.
Yeah.
And the money. Yeah. Like, it's just me. So, and I have the studio to pay for. Yeah. So I have a lot of outgoings. And as much as like a VA would massively help me, I want that money to take my kids on holiday and stuff like that. So I just have to suck it up and just do the late nights, and people get emails from me at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Talking about holidays, how do you deal with holidays being in the wedding industry?
I just don't have one.
Well, then you've got the money, don't you?
That is true.
You just send her by herself.
No, we
because you've got young kids as well.
We just block out. We still block out 2 weeks in August. Regardless.
I do now. I had a few years where I didn't, and we would literally try and fit in like a long weekend away or something. But now with the kids, I do block out a good 2 weeks. I've even blocked out a week in June. I've got a week in June next week after my mammoth week this week. I've got a week off just to do nothing.
Wicked.
Although it'll probably end up admin and tidying the studio and all of that, just business life, isn't it? And then I think I've got a week in July as well. So
brilliant.
Because it's the school holidays. I never see my kids otherwise.
Well, the thing is, you won't enjoy it if it's just all work.
Absolutely.
So your perfect customer, would it be someone that has an idea of what they want, or someone that has no idea what they want, and you're like, right, okay, I can show you this, I can show you this, I can show you this?
I don't think it matters if they've got an idea or not. It's coming with an open mind.
Okay.
And choosing me as a cake artist for what I do. So many people will tell me they love what I do, and then they'll show me a picture of inspiration. I'm like, but that's nothing like what I do. And then I have to gently kind of tell them, I don't think I'm the right fit for you.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that I don't want to do.
That's good of you to do that, because some people just try and do it and you take the money anyway. Do you know what I mean?
So I mean, it's not even things it's things that I can do. It's just not what I want to do. Yeah. And I know if I'm creating a cake that I don't love,
won't give it your all.
Because and then I'll resent doing it because it's time that I could have with the kids or time that I could have an order that actually I do really love. So I'm trying so hard to say no to things.
It's good because you can use ChatGPT to do that for you. You ever used it?
No.
Oh yeah. If you want to blow someone out, just say, look, I've just received this email and I don't want to do the job. Can you word it in a way that's nice?
Does it do it for you?
I've never actually had to use it for that, but it would be amazing for that. You've got to try it.
I have to try it. I might have to try it.
GPT.
GPT,
is it?
GPT.
Yeah, I never know it's B. I never know it's B or T.
I don't know. My husband's dabbled in it.
It would change your life, honestly.
So what would be the normal consultation? You've got a bride and groom say, we like your work. You say, come to the studio. What happens after that then? You give them tasters or they...
So I don't actually do consultations until about 6 months before the wedding. Okay. So my couples will have booked me before they have a consultation.
Right, okay.
Being in the industry for so long and doing it for so many years, people tend to book me without necessarily needing to do that. They know my work, they know my style, and they're quite confident, I would hope, in what I do. So about 6 months before their wedding, they then come down to the studio. We sit down, chat all about the wedding, not necessarily just about the cake. And then I'll design some initial options, which we then kind of play around with. And
so do you design those sort of sketching or online?
Yeah, so I do digital sketching.
Nice.
Which is really good because it means that if they want to see something in a different colourway or different flowers in different positions and things, it's so easy.
So it's like a realistic looking one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to do it all by hand, but then you would have people going, can we see it like this? And I'd have to re-sketch the whole thing.
Okay.
So digital sketching is
using like Photoshop or something?
So I use Procreate on my iPad,
Oh, wicked.
Great, so.
That's a good idea. I didn't imagine you having to do that, actually.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it means that once they've we've decided on a design, they then have that kind of visual as to what it would look like.
And you've got something to also go back to when you started, because you're like, what did I say I was going to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially if you've got, like you said, 5 on the go at one time, you can go, right, okay, this bride, I know exactly what they want. Inspiration from their flower colour and, you know, the dress colour and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone has a little file with all my notes from consultations, and I always get my brides to bring in like copies of their invites or colour swatches and things so that I can have those on hand and work with those as well.
You sort of answered this already, but is there a flavour or a style when a bride asks you for it and your heart sinks? It's like, oh God.
Not again.
But it sounds like you would say to them, I'm not the right fit for you.
So things like the reveal cakes where the front is one thing and you turn it round and it's got
like an open curtain sort of thing.
Yeah. So I used to do them. Yeah, I used to do them, but they're not for me anymore. It's not my thing.
Right.
There's lots of different things where I just go, oh, we could do something so much more.
Like, and you suggest it, I imagine.
And I do. Yeah. I always say, oh, we could try this. And if they really don't want to, then it is a case of, I just don't think I'm the right fit for you. And that's perfectly okay. I can't be everyone's cup of tea.
No, of course.
And every client can't be my customer. So we have a big network. In COVID, myself and some local cake makers set up a WhatsApp group to all help each other.
Oh, that's good. So different styles.
Yeah, and that's all still going. So we talk like it's constant. I love it. Like I have to mute it sometimes because they chat on there so much. But it's really nice to have like a little community of cake makers. So if one of us gets an inquiry that we can't do because of dates or it's not our style, we say to everyone, can anyone help with this? So then we're all recommending each other and sending different things to
brilliant.
each other and stuff. So
can you do 2 weddings in one day? Can you sort of have?
So
where the husband comes in.
So I have 3 weddings tomorrow.
Gosh.
So I usually wouldn't. I would usually do maximum 2. Just because of delivery logistics. But I have got 3 tomorrow. Sorry, husband, because he's got to.
Are you paying him?
No.
He does it for free.
He's my husband. That is payment enough.
He gets to see a bit more cleavage.
It's all right. The microphone's like in the way. You can't see anything. Yeah, so
a slice of the cake.
he gets free cake. He gets all the offcuts. He can have cake whenever he wants. So yeah, 2 is usually my maximum. But this week, yeah, I've ended up with 3. I did 2 yesterday.
Are the times staggered slightly, or?
Yeah, so I have to very carefully work out the logistics of deliveries. The most I've ever delivered is 4 in one day.
Do you want to say the locations so we can sort of see where you're actually travelling tomorrow?
So tomorrow I am at Mount Ephraim, so like Ashfordy way.
Right, I've never heard of that place. Never heard of it.
Mount Ephraim, beautiful, lovely
Is it?
venue, gorgeous.
They're everywhere. We're so lucky being in Kent. There's so many venues, isn't there?
And being in like this area, we're like
it's the
smack bang
capital
in the
weddings.
middle.
It really is.
And there's so many new ones coming up.
Oh,
now
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Loads of new ones.
Yeah.
So Mount Ephraim, Chilston Park, and at a private residence local to me. So
yeah, I've done that. That's what Dave used to do, didn't it? We used to have my brother-in-law on the wedding fairs. Because we used to film the wedding fair, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, of course you did.
So Dave, my brother-in-law, would be there, and he's a proper salesman, right? And where are you getting married? Oh, right, we've done Chilston Park. That's great. And then this girl went, yeah, we're doing it in my mum and dad's back garden. Oh, we've done there. He's gone.
And they went, wait, no, we haven't. That's really cool. And she was looking at him like, really?
It's like when the spiel takes over, and it's like instant.
He'd make all these notes like a doctor, and I would have not a clue what he's written on there.
No.
So funny, Dave.
So
Right,
what if you had to have the cake, if you had to have your wedding cake again, what flavour would you go for? What style? Obviously, you like the
So
the
flavour wise would probably be white chocolate and passion fruit,
that's so good.
and probably red velvet in there somewhere.
Red velvet's been going a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It has. I think it's a bit of a love it or hate it.
See, I personally don't like red velvet. I find it too sweet, but a good old chocolate cake, I love. Good chocolate cake. Or a Victoria sponge.
See,
Just the standard.
you know, I've been happy since they've started adding salt to caramel.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, salted caramel's a good
Salted
choice.
caramel
It's a
is-
good choice, yeah.
And 10 years ago, have you ever heard of salted caramel? You'd probably
Well,
say yes, you have.
I
haven't you?
have, yeah,
But do you know what I mean, though? It's everywhere,
generally
isn't it?
not for a wedding
Like
cake.
Biscoff. I remember having Biscoff biscuits only in hairdressers.
Yeah, like
And that was-
others are available.
That was early. All right. What are they? What flavour are they?
They're like caramelly.
Caramel,
speculoos.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you would only get them in the hairdressers.
Yeah,
and I
or
remember,
like with a coffee.
Yeah,
like a posh
exactly.
coffee.
Yeah, and I remember having them in 2000. But now, since
They're
they've been selling them
everywhere.
in the pound shops, they're through the roof, isn't they? Everything's got Biscoff on it.
Yeah, Biscoff's too sweet for me.
No, I don't like Biscoff.
It's a bit.
Yeah, I love those biscuits, but they've been overdone now.
Yeah.
Been overdone. Yeah.
Because I think the trend. Well, I've seen a few wedding cakes that have got the hole in the middle now as well, and they have something dangling. in there.
Yes.
So I've seen a few of those.
Yeah,
cakes,
so like cut out dummies. Illusion cakes are very in at the moment.
Do you do them yourself, or do you do them?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
sorry.
Okay. Can you explain an illusion cake?
So you can have things like floating tier separators. So
Right.
Oh yes.
so you've got like it's hard to explain, but like a plinth and a like a connecting bar and a tier here. So this one sits on the base, and then the other cake sits on here,
Right.
and then you'd use something to hide the like
Like
a
a-
connecting support.
Like a, I don't know, stem or stalk or something.
Yeah, so
that.
like flowers and things, and it means that the top tier looks like it's floating above
Mm.
Okay.
the
That's
cake
cool.
underneath, or acrylic tiers, so perspex tiers, again to give that kind of floating illusion. But you can fill the perspex boxes with fairy lights and flowers and things like that. So lots of different things going on at the minute.
Because we've had a few cakes. We've had the giant French fancies or fondant, whatever they're called. Remember those? We had the three colours of those.
You like a French fancy, don't you?
Is it actually all cream? Because it was huge, wasn't it? It was about this big.
The dome bit
And
on
I'm
top.
like, is that actually cream in that? I really want to just poke it.
Yeah, I did one of those a few years ago, and it would probably be cake in there.
Yeah,
Lots of cake, just to give the illusion.
And then do you remember, was it Zainab's that they had their wedding cake, but it was on
Swinging.
a swing? And I was like, oh my God, if someone touches that, that's going to go over.
Yeah, I do quite a lot swing cakes, mainly at Cooling Castle. Danny Watchorn has a swing for his cakes that he suspends from like the ceiling at Cooling.
Yeah.
I love it when I turn up there and I haven't been told by the couple that they're having this swing, and I'm like, oh God.
So you're not the supplier of the swing.
Yeah.
There's a different supplier,
ones,
and then you're sticking your cake on top.
And then I put the cake on.
Oh my goodness. Is there a way of locking it first before you do anything or not?
So they tend to be, so it's suspended and then it has like invisible wire which stops it from swinging too much. Yeah. But yeah, setting up a cake on one of those is.
God. But you're going.
It's just part of the job. But
I bet you're off the caffeine, aren't you?
Yeah, it's more that I just don't. Sometimes I'm not prepared.
Right,
couples won't tell me
like mentally
that part, and I turn up. I'm like, oh, all right, we're doing the swing today. Are we okay? But yeah, it's fun.
Like we've been there before, and we haven't said like how many people have you got in your bridal party, and we turn up and there's like 100 people in one room, and we're like, oh my God.
This is what gets us. Yeah. This is what gets us. We've done the ceremony, we've done the photos. We're like, have a little relax, all sitting down. The bride and groom, we welcome the bride and groom, everyone. They come in, they all sit down. We're like, oh, I've got 5 minutes. And now we're going to do the speeches. We're like, they do the speeches before you eat. And
now we're like, right, speeches before or after?
We asked the question about 10 times because they do change their mind on the day as well.
Yeah.
But that can throw us if they're doing the speeches.
Well, if you're not prepared, then it's not a case of you guys can just kind of stand up and go, right, okay,
let's do it.
You need to be in the right place.
More so much for me. If I've got my camera on me, and I've got enough battery, I can get away with just going, oh, right, okay, let's quickly do this then. But
I'm setting up 3 angles.
Yeah, 3 angles.
So I'm throwing cameras everywhere.
You're like, right, sorry.
Greg, take this mic. Yeah, it's mental. The other day they was meant to talk before they ate, and we was all prepared for it, and they went, we're going to have 2 courses now.
Yeah,
so they're 2 courses, and then okay. Right.
So that's not as bad because we're prepared and we can sort of go, right, we're going to have a little bit of a break.
You could just kind of leave it there and it doesn't get in the way.
And then singing waiters, if they're in the mix, it's like normally...
Our break's ruined.
Yeah, we're like, okay, we've got to quickly do this.
Yeah, we get no break if there's a singing waiter.
I do love a singing waiter, but yeah. I can imagine for you guys.
Oh, we like them, but that's our break time. Someone's working in. Well, can you get that? Yeah, we'll get that for you.
Sure, why not?
Right, so I'm just going to get some tips now, not for any reason whatsoever.
Not for this competition that you've
my 50th.
No,
you doing me a cake?
No, I've done that.
Did you buy it from Chelsea Buns?
No,
you're bang out of order.
Rude.
Jem's making it for me.
Oh, is she? Is Jem doing it?
She's going to fit something in the middle. No, she's not.
Oh, right, okay. No. What's she going to fit in the middle? What are you on about?
Maybe like this.
Oh, right.
So cut it over. Right. It's like
thanks for that.
That's nice.
But if you're making a cake, is there any tips like don't over whisk it or anything like that? Because I'm shocking at making cakes.
So baking is a science. So you do have to get your proportions of things right. I would just say find a recipe that works. Mm-hmm. Once you've found a recipe that works, use that as kind of your base recipe.
Okay.
Because you can always tweak it flavour-wise. I have a couple of base recipes that I've developed over the years, and they are what I use day in, day out. And I know they never fail. So, yeah, don't overwork it.
Do you have pets?
What? That's a random question.
I do. I have a little dog.
Did you have trouble once, like when you used to cook at home and you've come back and it's been eaten by the dog?
No, because I didn't have pets when I used to do it.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. That's all. But
he would.
That's the only question I got left.
He would absolutely eat it now. He's
really.
Yeah. He's a little gannet. Bless him.
So let's talk more about your classes then. So how you only do it sort of off wedding season? So from a certain month to a certain month?
Yeah, I tend to do it from kind of September through to like March. And I do loads of different things from like the basics. I don't do baking classes, but I will bake the cakes and then you can come and learn how to like get a perfect finish on a cake. So everything simple from just an ice cake, or we can do fully decorated cakes. But sugar flowers is the main thing that I teach. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to push the classes as much as we'd want to at the moment because of weddings and things.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's just starting a whole new business, basically. Obviously, I'm known in the wedding industry, but the teaching side of things, I'm not really known for. So, it's just about kind of getting it out there now.
And so is it brand new?
We launched last year, I think we launched it. I think it was last year. Might have even been like early last year. I can't really remember. But I try and update the website with new classes and things. And I've done a few sugar flower classes so far at the beginning of this year, which was nice. And they've obviously all petered off now because it's crazy wedding season. So yeah, it's pretty new.
How did you find teaching?
Good. I loved it. I love it.
Okay.
Like being able to share.
Love,
yeah, I'm doing what I love, and I think my passion comes through when I'm doing it.
Okay.
So it's quite chilled.
Right.
I think I just get a little bit.
Here it comes. Impatient with them?
No, not impatient.
Right.
I think I put too much in my courses sometimes. So I forget that people can't do things as quickly as I can.
So you've sort of panned out too much for the time frame.
Yeah. So it fits for kind of me, but everyone's at different levels and different abilities. Some people have never, don't even know what flour paste is to make a flower with.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So some people need the real base.
Oh, yeah, the old flour paste. Yeah.
So flour paste is just a different type of medium. It's a bit like sugar paste, like fondant, but you can roll it really thin and it sets really hard. So that's what we use to make flowers. Some people don't know what that is, so we have to go from the real basics all the way through to actually make it.
How long is the class then? How long have you got to get all that in?
So I do different classes. I do like a half day or a full day.
Oh, right, okay. So what, 8 hours, 4 hours type thing?
Yeah, pretty much. And then we kind of tailor what we're doing to the class time. I also have some like masterclass ones, which is over 2 days, where you'll take home a finished cake design, which are quite fun to do, but they are very intensive. I think people come and don't realise quite how much work there is actually in it. It's quite a lot for your brain, but it's good fun.
So have you ever thought about going on not MasterChef,
Nailed it.
but one of these cake
do you watch that?
Professional bake off.
My daughter loves it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. And like the cake, all the cake wars stuff.
Cake or
bake off professional.
Is it cake or something like that? Is it called?
Is it cake?
Cake.
Yeah. We've just finished watching that new series of that as well.
Some of them are amazing though, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't think I could do the hyper realistic cakes though.
No.
It's not carved cakes. That's another thing that's not really
And
me.
like the huge chocolate sculpting and all that is unreal, and it's some of
crazy.
the framework inside those things.
Sculpting on yours or not?
No. I'd love to, but it's just chocolate's a completely different ball game to work with. So
especially in the summer, if it melts on top of the cake.
Yeah, my God. Oh God. That's where tempering has to come in, I think, to get it. I don't know enough about chocolate. I should do, but
so talking about your cakes and temperatures, is there a certain between temperature that you feel that is comfortable with? You know what I mean?
I think if you feel comfortable, the cake should be okay. If you're not like sweating, but.
No,
if you feel like you're really hot, it's too hot for you.
Oh right, I see. Right, okay.
Not like
I thought you was going to have some sort of impact on the cake, like the flowers in ET. You know what I mean? When he's ill, they start dying.
Maybe. No, I'm not.
Right. So if you feel hot, the cake's going to be similar.
If you feel hot,
the cake can be comfortable in the same temperatures that you're comfortable.
Yeah,
in.
pretty much.
Okay.
So the cooler the better for a cake, really. It depends what it is. I mainly do fondant cakes.
Right.
So they're a little bit more stable than like naked or buttercream, semi-naked cakes. So yeah, just don't give me a really hot marquee in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
In the middle of a field with no fans.
With the sun coming in.
With the sun coming in, and expect your cake to still be standing.
Because the table is always by a window, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's by like those
lights,
like like in some marquees where you have like the window sections, and it's like a little mini greenhouse just on the cake, and the cake is always there. And I think,
and then you've got like the Mr. and Mrs. behind it, which is lights again. And you're thinking, so I've got lights, I've got heat, I've got this, and
no, there's lots
fire eater next to it.
Yeah, there's lots of things I do to kind of prevent and reduce any risk to the cake. But yeah, it's just you just have to think about it when you're planning your wedding. Where's the cake going? How long is it going to be out for? And what type of cake do I want?
So when you leave the cake, it's sort of almost like now it's the bride and groom's responsibility. So if someone walks into it, that's not your problem.
Yeah, once I've set up, I take loads of photos and videos.
Proof,
pretty much, and for socials that I never post, but that's another thing. So once I've left, that's the responsibility is kind of out of my hands at that point. If it's a warm day or if they've got a buttercream cake, I'll always have a conversation with whoever's on duty at the venue, and I basically say, if it's getting warm, make them move there, just rejig it, get them to cut the cake before they sit down for their meal.
That's a good idea. That way, never happens. It's usually just before first dance.
Yeah, it's usually in the evening, but if you've got a buttercream cake, you're in a marquee, it's 28 degrees outside, and you can see that the cake is suffering, why leave it there? So by the time they come to cut it, it's either melted, collapsed, or, it's just a mess. That's then their photos, or they don't then get the photos. If they can cut it before they sit down to eat, everyone still witnesses it.
Even if they just pose with the knife about to pierce the cake.
Yeah.
And they've got the pose then.
So I did my sister's wedding cake. She recently got married at Hayne House, and it was a beautiful August day. It was August bank holiday.
It's got a marquee as well, isn't it?
Well, they've got like an orangery, it's all glass, and it was so hot. I'd obviously arrived. I was a bridesmaid, so I'd arrived early. The cake was in my van, staying cool. But I set it up a little bit earlier than I probably would have done usually because I was having to get ready for the wedding.
Imagine taking that out in your dress and then going, oh, sorry, I've just spilled everything.
And it was a massive, really tall cake. And I said to them after they got married, can you just come into the orangery with the photographer and just get some post photos because I'm really worried. One of the tears was already starting to kind of go because it was so hot in there. Yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing you can do. Yeah. So they had their photos taken, and it stayed standing for the day.
It's
but
it insurance, isn't it?
But it didn't.
But for you,
for me, to make sure that they got their photos with their cake, it meant that they got them without it being too much on the wonk.
Yeah. Let's talk about themes. Been asked to do lots of themes.
Yeah, I
Star
guess
Wars,
Disney.
Yeah, they are the people that I go, I'm sorry, I'm not the right person.
Right. Okay. You don't do any themes at all?
Not really. There's a few where people will have a really nice cake and have like a little subtle hint of something. But it's not really my cup of tea anymore.
How about like figures, bride and groom sort of figurey type thing?
If they want them, that's fine, but I don't do them.
Oh, right, you just get someone else to do them?
They would have
go on your WhatsApp group and say, can someone knock out?
Yeah, who can do it? Yeah, I've got a few contacts who do them. My friend Jo, she makes figures. That's one of the things that she loves doing, all the sculpting. So I'll often send couples to her and say, can you do this to go on my cake?
Have you ever had done their cake and then they've gone, right, okay, thank you so much. Can we have this on top?
Yes.
And you've gone, oh my God.
Yes. It is a notorious thing.
One of those A4 printouts you get in Asda's. Like a picture stuck on top of it.
I get
Mr. and Mrs. and it's like this big and the cake's this big.
Yeah, so there are a number of times where because as part of my consultation, I always ask, are you having a topper? Are you planning a topper? Because the size that you go will depend on what size cake we have, or the size cake will depend on what you need to order. And people say, no, we're not having anything. And I turn up at the wedding and I walk in and on the table there is cake topper. And I'm like, God.
You said.
And it's fine. If that's what they want, obviously I will put it on. But I then I will take before photos and photos after. But I've occasionally had like a 4-inch top tier, which is literally like this big. And they've got like a 6-inch cake topper.
How am I going to do this?
So I've had to put it on like the middle tier and have it somewhere different. I've had a couple that I couldn't put on the cake at all because they were too big, too heavy. And so they just got kind of put next to the side.
My mate turned 60 a few years back and we went to Asda. We did the old printout because I'm an engineer as well. So we use a lot of control systems, and we just took a screen print off of this control system with a load of tanks and pumps. Right, we got it printed out, got him a cake this big, and we stuck 60 candles on it, right?
Oh,
and I thought that'd be all right, just 60. It was like a furnace. We was handed it to him. We could have cremated him on it.
I'm surprised all the candles didn't.
Yeah, we managed to get all 60 lit up, and it was so hot. And I didn't think it would be, because you just imagine all the little candles.
I suppose when it's all put together,
but when they're together in a full-on rectangle, it was so hot.
How long did it take you to put 60 candles on?
I don't know.
Did you not send me?
Me and my mate did it. We just
Could you not just got a number?
No, we did it for a laugh.
Hey guys.
Well, yeah.
For a start, we was trying to disguise the screenshot of a work system.
What was the point in that screenshot? You probably couldn't see anything.
I think it was either retiring. No, it was his 60th. It wasn't his retirement present. But he stares at that screen. He has to stare at that screen 12 hours a day. So
on your birthday, have a little look at this. Love it.
Yeah. And it was so hot. Yeah. It was boiler system as well, so it was quite apt.
So where do you think the cake industry is heading then, with designs and with new ideas and stuff like that? And
to be honest, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird. There's a bit of a weirdness at the moment. Cakes are getting more expensive to produce, so people in the industry are trying to find ways of reducing costs without taking away what they're actually doing. So there's lots of new techniques coming out, like paper flowers are becoming quite a big thing to replace sugar flowers. It's just a bit weird. People are always coming up with new ideas, but unfortunately with the cost of living and our prices are rocketing, which means that what we would maybe have been able to do for a client 2 years ago is now costing so much more, so that client is no longer wanting it. I think there'll always be weddings, there'll always be wedding cakes, but I think it will really peak and trough in terms of what people want. We're seeing a lot more people want things last minute, so a lot more last minute cake orders.
Do you get a lot of the sort of just one tier and then the cupcakes?
I used to, but again, it's not me, so I don't offer that anymore. Partly because the time that it takes is just not worthwhile in terms of the cost versus time, and it's just not my style. So I'm trying to just put out there the kind of things that I want to make now. So
I don't blame you.
Brilliant. Loved you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks.
Got any other stories you want to tell us?
Oh, I've got lots, but not for
anything
not for now.
it's going to get us more views.
No.
Lost a leg or something.
No, I've got both legs. Thanks. Sorry.
No cooking accidents.
On your way then.
No. I did cut my thumb yesterday.
Oh right, okay. I'll put a violin over that bit.
The oven.
Yeah.
I'll do a short video. Put a violin over that. Injury. Workplace incident.
So if people wanted to find you and wanted to have a look at all your cakes that you've done before, how would they find you?
So probably Instagram's easiest, at CB Cakery, or chelseabuns.co.uk.
Right. So Instagram's at CB Cakery.
Cakery.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a website? Oh, you just said that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Chelseabuns.co.uk. I just try and think of funny stuff and never successfully.
No.
So chelseabuns.co.uk.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for coming on.
So
That was
much.
amazing.
Been lovely having you on.
You.
We got there eventually, didn't we?
We did. It's taken a while. I didn't drink my cup of tea though.
No, I know.
Sorry.
And yesterday's guest did exactly the same. So I'm not happy about it, to be honest.
Do you want me to drink it? I don't care.
Right in front of
Down
it.
it.
Chug it. Chug.
Oh, it's a bit milky.
Sorry about that.
We need to teach you how to make.
It probably
a cup of
gave
tea.
up being a cup of tea. And it was from the cafe downstairs. And she said, "Do you want to keep the bag in it?" And I said, "No, I don't."
It's an all right cup of tea.
Is it?
It's not bad.
Okay.
I don't drink tea or coffee, so I don't know what's good or bad or anything. So.
No, she's weird. She has
There we go. I drank a bit.
I go to the pub and she asked for a squash. It's like taking a kid out.
Do you like hot squash?
I've done that before.
Hot squash is lovely.
Yeah, especially when you're not well.
Yeah.
Have a hot squash.
Like hot blackcurrant.
Yeah, that is
amazing.
lovely. I haven't done that in years.
Like a kettle hot sort of.
Yeah, so you make it up with kettle. Lovely.
Oh.
It is
Or you
nice.
can just put it in the microwave, like. if you want to go down that route.
Oh.
But yeah, it's lovely. That hot squash is lovely. Did you ever have sarsaparilla as a kid?
No.
No.
What the hell's sarsaparilla?
Oh, you should get some sarsaparilla.
I've never heard of it.
It's like a squash, but it's like a blackcurranty weird flavour. It's delicious.
It's like a hot lemon, but
yeah, pretty much. I used to get it down the
blackcurrant.
market with my nan and granddad when we used to go out.
Maybe you should do a sarsaparilla cake. No?
I don't even know where I'd get sarsaparilla.
Well, I know. I've never heard of it.
Oh, you've got to find it. You've got to find some sarsaparilla.
Okay. We get the makers of sarsaparilla on the show.
Well, who knows?
if they still exist.
Some old boy turns up.
It makes me feel like I'm just making up words
You are.
now. It's a real thing.
I feel like I recognise the name, but
Yeah.
it's not a name that I've ever had any interaction with.
Always used to get it down the markets. Hot sarsaparilla.
I feel like there was an advert with that on sarsaparilla.
Maybe.
I don't know,
have
or
to
in a
Google
lyric
it
of a
now.
song or
You're
something.
going to have to Google it and then prove that it is a real
And send you a
thing.
message, go, Look,
It's real.
Brilliant.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
coming
much.
on.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thanks for having me.
See you next year when you bring samples.
All right. Maybe I'll send you some if you're nice to
No,
me.
no, it's all right. We eat them anyway at the wedding fair, don't we?
You do.
Yeah, give them all to
You
the
do
kids.
get them. You do get them. It's
Yeah.
not like you don't get
Like, do you want
anything.
any? Yeah, all right, then we'll have some.
And the kids are like, oh,
Yeah.
You got left. You got left.
Was it you guys where they just took loads and loads of? Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
That was the same day that they took all them balloons.
Oh,
it's
from
different.
was
So
that Flo?
It's just their head in the car window and then just loads of balloons surrounded them.
Was that Florence's setup that
think
she
so.
did?
Yeah,
Flo,
behind us,
yeah.
And I was just sitting there because I hate balloons. So I was like, oh, God.
Please
this is
don't pop. Please
horrible.
don't pop.
But
We're
my
driving
son
home
thinks
and it's
it's, you know-
literally like this. I'm going,
Oh, I love
He
it.
treats everything like an animal being neglected, doesn't he? You can't leave the balloon behind.
And this balloon,
Oh.
I kid you not, one of them was like this big, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And we had to
yeah.
get it in the car. It wouldn't even fit in the doors. We had to squeeze it in.
And
He's
it's-
going, don't pop it. I'm like, I can't help it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Once
I
again, we're
hated it.
chatting after saying goodbye.
Yeah, sorry.
We do
Oh,
that all the
okay.
time. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
You can. There we go. Bye bye. Thanks for listening. I think. I don't know. This podcast has been brought to you by Snug Dubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk.